Assalamu alaikum all. Today I'm going to be talking about making my pension halal. Now, something that I did not originally know about, and in fact I didn't really know much about pensions at all. I started sort of getting more into personal finance and halal investing and things like that. And essentially just by learning about pensions, and then one thing I realized was that, I needed to make sure my pension was halal. So that's something actually quite easy to do in the UK, and I'll explain how I did that and how anyone can do this. So welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is all about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. So just a quick disclaimer, everything I say here is just for entertainment and information purposes. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, first things first, don't be hard on yourself if you have not done this earlier. I know a lot of people that really don't even know what a pension is or how to sort of manage one or to make it halal and all of these kind of things. So that's something that, not to be too hard on yourself, because then you can end up delaying and procrastinating things. It's just kind of like almost accept it and move on and try and make it halal as soon as possible. Now in the UK, most pension providers offer you ways to make your pension halal, and this is something that's quite easy to do, but it's just a lot of people, I feel like, just don't know that information isn't just out there. And there's a really good article by Islamic Finance Guru, IFG, and I'll have that link in the description here, which is specifically about pensions in the UK, and it kind of really goes into some good information about that. But generally, most pension providers in the UK offer Islamic funds, and it's even more so now than ever. I use AJ Bell, and AJ Bell I'm finding have got even more Islamic funds than before. So it seems like there's lots of stuff out there. It's just that we just need people to be aware of it and just to start using it. Now, in my previous video, I spoke about how pension is just like a pot of money, and you just want to kind of build that pot of money and just invest it and just sort of keep it growing for you. So another thing to be aware of is that a pension is just a pot of money. So the main thing is where you invest your money using your pension. So the pension itself is not halal or haram, it's what you invest in that is halal or haram. So if you just invest in a really simple way, and this is what I do, is I just invest in the halal index fund, and that's it really. So all my pension is pretty much just into that. And if I did have any pensions that weren't in something that was permissible, then I would just kind of switch it. So that's something that I'm doing, and just trying to get everything kind of switched over to the pension. And a pension is something that can build up to a lot of money, so it's really important to kind of do this as soon as possible. Now the following information I have is more for a standard workplace pension, which is known as defined contribution pensions. It's like a common word they use. And so this is for most people probably in the private sector, and essentially where you kind of put money into your pension and your employer will put some money in as well. So you're kind of getting some free money from the employer, and you just kind of keep adding money to your pension. You just keep building up, and you can add extra money as well if you want to. Now, the info I've read out there as well, like kind of Islamic advice as well, is generally it seems like it's okay to take that extra money, and in fact it's something we should be using. We should use that money, invest it, and kind of develop our pensions. Now if you work for the public sector, and if that's something I have been doing, is you could be a doctor, a police, a teacher, whatever. Your pension is kind of different. It's actually a really good form of pension, and it's like something that from my research seems like I want to keep, and it seems like it's something that has some really good benefits. So I'm not going to be sort of really talking about that here, because that kind of works a bit differently. Most people haven't got one of those, and these are kind of, you don't really have any control over these pensions. They're controlled by a board, a pension board that kind of manages all that stuff. Okay, so now let's go back into the other main type of workplace pension, and all you have to do is just kind of log into your pension provider's website. So you may need to create an account, or you may have an account already. Most of them are pretty simple to do, especially like the big ones. And then what you do is you just kind of go into your pension, and then kind of you see what you invested in. And then what I did was I just searched for halal investment funds. And most of the pension providers out there have loads of different sort of halal investment funds. I'd probably say the main ones are like the HSBC ones, and also the iShares ones as well. So they've got Islamic index funds that are for emerging markets, for the US, global, all sorts of stuff. And the one that I went for, and most of them probably offer this, is the HSBC Islamic Global Equity Index Fund. It's been around for a long time. My pension's been in that for ages and ages and ages. So I'm very comfortable just putting my money into that. And it's a very simple choice for me. And what I did was I did have some pensions, lots of different pensions that weren't in the Islamic Index Fund, the HSBC one. So I just kind of switched them. I just kind of sold them and then switched them. You just all kind of do that within the application is just very easy to do. And, you know, my money as well, because I've had this pension for a long time now, it's actually kind of built up, which has been amazing. Now, this may seem quite intimidating. I know for me as well, definitely dealing with pensions has been quite intimidating. Have no idea what I was doing and things like that. But it's actually quite simple. It's just like a pot of money that you're putting in. I think where people do get quite sort of complex or think that, you know, it could be kind of more complicated is when you're actually taking money out of your pension. But I'm not worried about that now. I'm more worried about that later on. My main priority right now is just to make my pension as big as possible. And yeah, I definitely, one of the goals of this channel as well, you know, I definitely want to encourage Muslims to talk more about pensions and money in general. So I think it's something that we don't talk enough about. Some people think as money as a bad thing, but, you know, it's definitely something that we need in this world. And, you know, we need money to survive and do things, but obviously, you know, we need to be careful how we manage our money and, you know, not be to do things with our money that are not kind of respectful or not good. So yeah, it's very important to do those things. And in the IFG article, I was reading there, he was talking about how a lot of pensioners are in poverty. So there's people that haven't saved enough money for the pension and things like that, especially when you get older. That's something we want to sort of try and avoid doing. So so I hope you found this video insightful. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below. I just want to say thank you for watching, and please hit that like button if you've got any benefit at all, as it really helps with the algorithm. Assalamu alaikum.